All right, good evening, good evening. This is the CSRN, our weekly podcast where we come to you every week and talk about the things that we've done last week, the things that we're working on right now, which is Juneteenth. Let me put the microphone up a little closer, and some of the things that we got coming up in the future. What we're going to do, as always, we're going to play our intro video and give everyone a chance to like, share, and comment on the podcast. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. Our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN, our weekly podcast, or our podcast week in review. I know you're thinking, where's Jody? Well, Jody is doing the taxable today. That means that he's working today, and hopefully we'll have Jody chime in virtually and give his report on some of the things that he's been involved in this week. And also he'll supply us with the 5 minutes of heat. That's the spoken word that CSRN always does at the end of our meetings, because we just do things a little bit different. And who am I? I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronoun he and him. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. Maybe 9 years ago, both of these brothers had an idea that just ordinary people could speak truth to power. They came up with what they call Community Solidarity Day, and then they asked me to help plan it. And I think one of our first events was at the Frederick Douglass. This may have been August or September of 2014, and they needed a space. And the Doug has always been a friend of me. Even before CSRN, we had our event there. We did a couple other events together. 9 years later, we're still here. For those who may be visually impaired, what am I wearing today? Today I've got on I don't know if it's pink or mauve, but it's something like that shirt. All right. I got my white hat on today, my brown rimmed glasses. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. And normally when we open up, we talk about our Black Lives Matter moment. Ever since 2014, we've been organizing together like this kind of unbossed grassroots type thing. And my Black Lives Matter moment came in 2020. This was right before everything shut down. We had a CSRN Black Lives Matter Sheriff Forum. This was held at the Frederick Douglass Community Center, and we had Mac McCluster be our MC because of his military training and policing background. He was the MC, and we had all of the candidates for sheriff. We thought that people should hear from that person that's going to be in charge of not only Lucas County Sheriff, but also the Lucas County Correction Service. I think it's LCCS or LCCC. Haven't been there in a while, so I don't know. But that was a highlight because most people might think that we wouldn't have a forum for Lucas County Sheriff. So that was my Black Lives Matter moment. And what we want to do now is our Kwanzaa word of the day is Kujishagulia. That means self-determination, and it's to define ourselves, name ourselves, and create for ourselves and speak for ourselves. And a big shout out to the Toledo Kwanzaa House and Mother Diane Gordon for having Kwanzaa in our community for, I think she said, over 50 years. And she was the first person that I saw practice Kwanzaa, even when I had zero knowledge of Kwanzaa. And I was telling people that I'm not participating in Kwanzaa because Kwanzaa is this, Kwanzaa is that, and I had no idea what I was talking about. All right, absolutely. And I'm glad she had educated me on what Kwanzaa is. I joined Toledo Kwanzaa House maybe 10 or 12 years ago. She probably said it's a bit longer. And hey, we're looking forward to not only having Kwanzaa right after Christmas, but also putting together events year round, just like we're talking about it right now, self-determination. We should be able to come together and focus on the things that we need to focus on without outside interference. All right, so what are we going to do now? We're going to go into what we call our mission statement. Where is it? It's right here. And this is what CSRN is, just in case you're starting a grassroots organization. Your mission statement lets everyone know what you're about. And if you don't have a mission statement, it's not difficult for those outside of our community to come in and turn what you're doing to something totally different. So let's put this up on the board anyway. Get the graphics for our mission statement if they can find it. All right, there it is. This is the mission statement for the Community Solidarity Response Network. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, citizen advocacy, and to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help to foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice equally applied to all, regardless of creed, class, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And that last quote is Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And what our mission statement means to me is that it makes us independent. It allows us to not rely on anyone else to define who we are and what we are. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a short break, and we are coming back with our guests. It's all about Juneteenth today, so we're going to be talking about Juneteenth, some of the events that's happening in Toledo, and we have an organizer that's going to talk about what's happening at their location. Nope, I'm not giving it all away right now. You got to come back. So family, come on back. This is the CSRN podcast Week in Review. We'll be right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call digital edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN weekly podcast, or podcast Week in Review. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. And before we bring on our guests, I wanted to just give some shout outs of thanks to some of those that have really helped CSRN stay relevant over the years. I want to bring up first the NAACP Toledo branch and all of its officers, all of the progressive churches that make us make us who we are. Muhammad's Mosque number 91, that's the Nation of Islam, the Padua Center, Mott Branch Library. That's where we're live streaming from. So I got to put them on, all right? Because every week they lay out the red carpet for us at CSRN to provide us with a space to set up our podcast and our podcast field. Also, I wanted to shout out to Frederick Douglass Community Center. I've worked with the Frederick Douglass since maybe 1993, and they have always been about the work of being the guardians and servants for our community. So just wanted to shout them out. I know that there's some others that have really helped us out along the years, and later on in the podcast, you might hear your name mentioned too. All right, put that out the way. All right, put this over there. All right, now, CSRN tradition is whenever we have a guest that we ask them who they are, what are they wearing, and what are we doing today? So who are you? What are you wearing? All right. And what are we talking about today?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on here. My name is Leslie McCoy, and I am wearing a dress that always have some type of form of blue because I am a Zeta Phi Beta Incorporated.
All right.
Out to those Zetas.
I did not know that.
I also have some fuchsia in my dress, and I love that I am here to talk about Juneteenth.
That's right.
At the Doug.
All right. So, how was it that you pulled the short straw or long straw to be the primary organizer of this Juneteenth?
Well, the Juneteenth started. This is our third annual festival. It started 2 years ago under the magnificent aunt of mine, and you talked about her earlier, Diane Gordon.
All right.
And family related, she says, I'm getting older now, and it's time to pass down the torch.
That's
so, of course, with me being at the Douglass Center, I am the assistant director there, helping Reggie Williams at all calls. She said, it's your turn. Tag, you're in. Pretty much how I got thrown into this. But she know I like to organize things too. So,
but you know what? That's how Mother Gordon puts you in.
That's
all right?
Exactly.
Matter of fact, I got a full transparency. Mother Gordon, if you're streaming this later, yes, I saw you call me yesterday. And everybody knows that if Mother Gordon calls you, there's something that you're going to have to do.
You got 24 hours before she knocking on your door.
All right. So I'm going to give her a call back. I'm going to put up our with the graphics for Kwanzaa. All right, that's the flyer
for Juneteenth, right?
That we're sharing on CSRN's page. It's on the 17th. 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Correct.
All right, what can everyone expect for Juneteenth celebrating freedom?
Oh, it's going to be a magnificent time. We got performers coming out. Some of the performers will be the Toledo Symphony is coming out. We have Greater St. Mary Praise Team. I have Jerry Clark, who will be singing. I have the Rocketeer Steppers coming.
All right.
And also we're going to
I don't have that on the back of here. All right.
See, because I was trying to leave it as a surprise.
That's
Everybody
awesome.
Want to know I have a lot of performers coming out. So I don't want to tell you all because I want you to come out and enjoy it and be surprised on who we have coming out. I have vendors. Every vendor in Toledo that I could try to possibly get my hands on, I got them coming. And for any vendor who has product that you want to sell, we are an open community at the Frederick Douglass Center. Please just give us a call. I have plenty of spaces for you. Also, do not forget those food trucks, because if one thing you know about our culture is we like to eat.
Absolutely.
So we have different food trucks. We got barbecue, we got hot dogs, hamburgers, tacos made all different kinds of ways coming. So definitely, if you have a food truck, come on out. Give the Frederick Douglass a call. I can get you registered on everything that's going on, and I am taking more people, vendors and food trucks until the end of this week. So if you are not in any event that's going on in the city of Toledo during the Juneteenth, please give the Frederick Douglass a call.
That's right.
And you can reach us at 419-244-6722. And if they don't answer, if you looked on the flyer, my phone number is personally on there. I will give it to you, 419-902-6535. Do not hesitate to give me a call and we will get you on the program.
Oh, all right. Hey, listen, when did you, it sounds like you got it together.
Trying.
Right? When did you realize that you can organize and plan things? Because this is a lot.
It's a lot to get all of us together, to cooperate, to get people to dedicate. It's a lot. I'm working day in and day out. I'm in my car working.
That's awesome.
I'm at the Douglass Center after 3:00 working, and I'm usually there till about 8:00 working on it. I work during the day, and anybody that I get in touch with, if I can touch you, I'm asking you questions.
That's right. That's right. So, man, that I always like to ask this question because I'm gonna ask. I said that when we were talking in pre-show prep, I wanted to talk about the Doug, and there's an incredible story about the Frederick Douglass. And last year, Toledo Kwanzaa House, we had Kwanzaa there.
We sure did,
and it was amazing. And I've been a part of the Doug family for a long time, and I've never felt so invited this year. And I've done stuff with other groups. I've done stuff with CSRN. Reggie and the staff always says, "Okay, Brother Washington, what do you want?" Never had a complaint. However, it was something different this year.
Well, this year we sat down, we reorganized, and what we did is we started. The Frederick Douglass Center has been around for 103 years. And a lot has transpired during those years. This year, we sat down and said, hey, we're going to rebuild the Doug. We're going to restructure it, how it's run, what goes on, and we're going to invite more people to come and participate in the Doug. In that, everybody that's in our organization, we come together and it's nothing but happy times. We want to build our community. We have to start somewhere to build our community of happiness, of peace. And one thing that they did, because of another part of what I do at the Doug, is I handle all the athletics part. I started Pride Kids United in 2017. That's when I joined the Frederick Douglass Center. And what I did was I went out into the community and talked to the kids and said, what is it that you want to do? And we tried to make it happen, to sum it up. A lot of them wanted to play athlete, different athletes. Right. And then there are some people that needed help with school. They wanted to build stuff, and whatever they wanted, that's what the Doug wanted to do. Bring kids in a safe environment to do what they want to do, because they are our future. Well, they are our future. So we want to build on that.
Well, normally whenever I hear adults wanting to assist young people, they never ask them. So when you said you went out and did a real needs assessment, all right? And if you stop by the Doug at any time, you see that there's things happening now.
There are things, we're moving. We have reinvented We have redone the gym. The walls are different. We have painted. We're getting new flooring. It looks totally different from what it is in the past. When you come in the Dove, we want you to feel that warmth. So when they had that Kwanzaa program and in December, you felt the warmth, you felt the greeting, you felt everyone sharing the love.
Right.
And my aunt does wonders with that Kwanzaa program. She does wonders. And that's what we want. We want you to feel close. We want you to feel safe. We want you to feel comfortable when you step in the Doug.
And that's what I got. And I couldn't figure out what it was to put my finger on it. So I just called Reggie and said, hey, look, something's up.
Change in administration.
Something is up this year because I'm used to the Doug. I'm used to everyone agreeing with what I want to do or what CSRN wants to do, and we get it done. But it was a different level of love.
It is. It's a different atmosphere than what you've known in the past. We're trying to what would I want to say? Reconstruct the wheel.
Okay, that's
make
beautiful.
Make it much better.
That's beautiful.
Make it much better for people in the community, for whatever they need. This past weekend, we worked on people in need on license, people who had fines and stuff. We had a great outcome.
That's
and
great.
We're going to try to do that again. We don't know when. I got phone calls.
Okay,
we don't know when, but anything that we can help our community people, because we have to come together. If we don't come together, how can we transpire our kids?
Hey, look, Leslie, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about what do you do for self-care? And we're going to talk about, are there some ways that we can get the word out of what all of us are doing? So family, stay tuned. This is the CSRN, our podcast Week in Review. We'll be right back.
If you can ride a bike without falling, then you're good to go. Bike Rides Matter. It's a community bike group. We get together for fun, fitness, and fellowship. We ride weekly. Right now, we got a Tuesday ride where we ride on the UT Trail. We do Saturday right here at Uptown Green. That's our glow roll Saturday night. It was something I was already doing with my daughter, just riding bikes, and we just decided it would be cool to add the community because we were just finding ways to make fun given the situation. Being that everything was closed down and options were limited, bike riding is one of those things you can do without any restrictions.
You get to make new friends and just like interact with people, especially during COVID. You still like have your mask on and stuff, but it's still good to like see people.
It's a cool way to stay fit. We talk while we riding, we got music while we riding. I've met quite a few new friends and new people. I made some real cool connections throughout the city. Take advantage of the time you have. Take advantage of this pandemic. I know it's a lot of restrictions, but you can be creative and find new ways to have fun, one of which is this right here.
Keep it going.
That's right. All right. Hey, it looks like we are back. Hey, listen, family, this is the CSRN, our podcast Week in Review. I have our sister Leslie from Frederick Douglass, that is the assistant director.
Yes.
Along with our brother Reggie Williams. If you know Reggie, you know that is a beautiful brother. He is the one that when a lot of us leaders, and I use that term loosely, all right, when a lot of us leaders read a story in the Toledo Blade that the Doug was on its deathbed, and I've tried to find that article. I may have to go to the Toledo Blade and find a microfilm or something of a newspaper that was
on the archives or something.
on the
like
archives.
That, yeah.
But this was in maybe 2012, 2011, 2012. And the article came out and it said that Frederick Douglass is on his deathbed. I then got a call from a couple of local leaders, pastors, and we met at a local church. You know, they called me, "Hey, Brother Washington, we're having a meeting."
Right.
Oh, well, what's it about? You got to come. I'm like, okay, all right, and I'm with it. All right, hey, okay, all right, I'll talk that talk. However, this meeting was about the Frederick Douglass, and I realized that I was in one of those meetings that maybe they invited the wrong person, and this meeting was about the Doug being on his deathbed and letting the Doug die.
Yes, they were talking about getting rid of it.
And the way that the discussion transpired was to not help, to let it die. And I'm like, man, it's sad to see the Doug go. Well, if that's what you guys think, and at that point, I went to talk to Reggie about this. I'm like, hey, look, what's happening, and I've worked at the Doug for years. So I've seen the Doug at its highs. I've seen this Doug at the Doug when it was being most challenged. And sometimes when we see that challenge, we decide that, hey, look, we're going to throw the towel in, let it die. We're not going to help whoever's helping with the Doug, just let it die. And Reggie refused to go along with that.
He did.
He refused. And even though there were people that would, if you could put the Doug at the Hollywood casino, if there was a sports book betting, there was a lot of us that was betting against it.
Yes, definitely.
And there are some powerful people, politically and spiritually, that was betting against it. And we know who we were. All right. We know who we are. All of us knew who was at that meeting, and I was there. And I'm a brother to Reggie First, and I hear a lot of stuff, and I'm in a lot of those meetings, and I don't mind coming out and saying, hey, look, here's what they're planning. And they have a lot of those meetings, and I don't know why they invite me, because I'm just going to come out and say, hey, look, Leslie, they plotting against you.
Right.
All right. And I don't know why they invite me to the meeting, but they know what I'm going to do. And they can't do anything about it. So I'm saying that because you are Reggie, and the whole board are a group of people that went against the grain of a lot of powerful people.
Yeah.
That the Doug is there.
We fought a fight.
Right.
And we're still fighting the fight.
But you know what? Listen, we know your strength now. I'm not with an opposing force, but they know the God that you serve. They know the energy that you serve is far greater than all of us put together, because I've seen them all put together.
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
True. That is
so
true.
I'm telling you, keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop.
Oh,
Don't stop.
We're climbing.
Okay.
We're
don't
climbing
stop.
high.
Don't
climbing
stop.
High.
Anyone that's giving negative energy, there's always some critique. All right, positive, constructive
That is true.
critique. All right. However, there's some of us that want to cast the evil suggestion and firm resolution to cause doubt and slow us down. So be mindful who's giving you some critique. Be mindful. A lot of us are no good. All right.
Well, with us, we put God first. And long as he has our back, we will be able to encounter anything. And those evils, we rebuke them.
Please.
We rebuke them.
Please.
And we keep moving forth. So when you tell us we can't, we tell you we can.
Yeah.
And we make it happen. And on any means necessary or what it needs to make it happen. So what we thought about is, the Frederick Douglass Center is centrally located in the heart of Toledo. And we have to keep it going for our kids, for people in need. And that's what we're basically building what's going on in the Doug for the people, our community around us. If we can work on our community around us, then we can expand out.
That's right.
And whatever they need or whatever we can do to make it better for them, that's what we're working on.
That's right. Now, one of the things that I wanted to ask is about self-care. Being in a fight like this is heavy.
It is.
All right. It's heavy. What are some of the things that you do to kind of rebalance you and bring you back to center? If there is.
Ooh, with me, it's a lot of walking and praying. A lot of walking and praying. Park walks, walk around the building. If I'm out at work, taking a break, just walking and reflecting on my day. What could I make better? What could I do to make things better? And just reflecting. And that's a lot of, you have to do a woosah, just a breather within yourself. Because if you can't take care of self, and you can't appreciate self, you can't help others. And that's one thing about me is I love myself. As long as I love myself, awesome. I can have people who will love me the same way. And I know the God Almighty loves me, so I can conquer anything that he can put forth in front of me.
Now, when did you realize that you can do that? I work in the substance abuse, mental health field, and I talk about grounded techniques often for those who are troubled with depression, anxiety, and that runs rampant in our community.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And being able to find something that can release some of the stress, some of the troubles, some of those thoughts is valuable. When did you realize that you can have some woosah type moments? Yeah.
It was later in life. I pretty much used to run a tight schedule to the T from the time I got up to the time I went to bed. But I learned as I got older that I had to have time for me and reflect, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes. I have to regenerate myself to get my thoughts together so I can help someone else. And as long as I try to stay positive and within myself, I can be positive to other people. And that's what other people have to realize is you have to figure out what you like to do. I like to dance. That's a release for me.
That's awesome.
That's a release where I like to dance. So I go dancing. What is it that you like to do? And then you do that. You find an area to do that. That's your release. You have to have a release. If you don't release yourself, you are unhappy with yourself. And you got to, it goes back to, you got to learn how to love yourself. If you cannot love yourself, you cannot help anyone else.
We were talking about, I meet with like a men's group, and we were talking about that word love. Family, we started off on Juneteenth and we're on love.
Coming back. We're going to come back on
right now.
We're going to come back to Juneteenth.
and it is about love. Yeah. It is about us participating in a day that we're showing love to each other. How do you define love?
Love is, how could I say? It's a feeling within yourself that is good. It's It's a feeling that no matter what someone tells you, you can take the negative and turn it to a positive.
That's beautiful.
Every time someone tells you something negative, you turn it into a positive because, like I said, you have to love yourself first. Always. There is nothing out here that we cannot correct or fix.
That's right.
In some form of way, but you need help.
Yeah.
And you cannot do it on your own. It's that support. It's a village. If I know growing up, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to run a country. It takes a village to run a city. It takes a village to
run a village.
Run a village.
I should be writing this. I'm gonna say this in my group tomorrow.
So that's what it is. It's that person taking the initiative. I taught for 20 years, and one thing I used to tell my students that I used to tell them, I love you. If no one else loves you, I love you. Because I care. You have to care, and you have to let the person know how much you care for them to open up to you, to understand where they're coming from. And if you don't come in with that mindset, we're in trouble.
And listen, I'm gonna bring the graphic back up about Juneteenth, because I also received some other flyers from other individuals and groups that's having Juneteenth, and when we support them too. Where's the one from the Doug? All right, so we've got the Doug Juneteenth. Hey, I like that Doug 419 logo.
Oh, you
too.
like our new Doug look? We made him young. You know, we try to make him a little young within the 20th century.
I'm feeling that. Okay, all right. Celebrating freedom. You said live music, food trucks, games, inflatables. And for the people that may be joining us now, what's that number again? If they're watching this and they're saying,
so if I have anyone out there that sells any type of product or have a food truck or just want to perform, you can reach us at the Frederick Douglass Center, and it's 419-244-6722. And if no one answers, because sometimes during the day I don't have a secretary or someone there, you can personally call me, and you can reach me at 419-902-6535. Yes, I put my number out on the air because I want to hear from you. I want to help my community as much as we probably. But the Frederick Douglass is going to have a blast. I want everybody to come to this Juneteenth. We have plenty of things. I have a kids zone set up for the kids.
Awesome.
I'm trying to get I'm getting horses. I got balls for them to do. I got games, prizes for them. We have Toledo Edison coming, giving out toys, and we have so many people coming. I want to come out, and this is just a big party. One thing I want you to know, leave all your violence at home, because Juneteenth is about us. It's about us. If you don't know anything about Juneteenth, let's talk about a little bit of history of Juneteenth.
Well, let's get into it.
Let's get into that. First of all, we must be happy for Abraham Lincoln for the proclamation of the Emancipation Proclamation. Excuse me, I forgot that part. If he did not sign that bill, where would we be right now? In slavery. We would be in slavery. You think you ain't free now? You definitely would not be free. And if he had not signed that in January 1st of 1863,
that's right.
where will we be? And yeah, it took 2 years after that for people, for soldiers and stuff like that, to come and say, hey, you're free. You can do whatever you want to. You free. You have equal rights. Our ancestors fought for us, and that's in the past. But now in the present, we have to live and take a part of what they made accomplishments for us. We need to quit fighting. We need to come together as one. And I know it's hard. We all got different personalities. We all have different ways on how we thinking. But for Juneteenth, This is the day. This is and if no one liked Biden, I'll tell you this, it was Biden who made this a national holiday.
That's right.
And so if we don't give any thanks to anything, we're going to give thanks to him for doing that for us.
All right.
And you should take that day, which is actually the 19th, but we're celebrating it on Saturday the 17th, because don't forget to come out to the Frederick Douglass Center from 11 to 6.
Right.
But take time to reflect what our ancestors did and how they fought for us and how we need to keep this fight going on for our future children. And we need to teach the children now why it is good to be free and to have a voice. Well, I know we're not, everybody say we're not completely free. That's true. But until we get that voice and we band together, we're not. But we can be free if we all come together and work together and teach our children and going back to that's that village. We all got to teach our kids to keep this process going.
Right. I was like, hey, I can just put down this. I can just leave.
Don't put down the mic. All right. Put down the mic. You invited me, so
that's what's up. Hey, we know that we use a lot of excuses to keep us from progressing. And yes, I've heard people say that we're not all the way free. Well, we're not all the way in slavery either.
That's true.
So we can pick. We can pick if we want to be free. We could be free in mind. We could be free in spirit. We can be free enough to participate together.
Exactly.
We could be free enough to stop the killing of our children.
Exactly.
We can be free enough to decide that we're going to make a difference today. Mm-hmm. So regardless of what someone might think, we've got a choice today. We got a choice to improve ourselves. We make a pledge at CSRN and we say that, I pledge to love my brothers and sisters as I love myself. So that word love could be defined as commitment and responsibility. How committed are you to yourself? How responsible are you going to be to not fight each other? How responsible am I going to be to not take that gossip that I hear from somebody and have me stupidly act on it?
Exactly.
So that's beautiful. I want to lift up before we go. I don't want you to go, but
I'll have to come back.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, how about this? We're going to take a short break. I want to thank you for being here today, Leslie.
Thank you. This is my first podcast, so
man,
I was a little nervous, but hey,
look, at any time I could have just turned my mic off. All right, and family, this is an example of unity. All right, that we can come together to promote our programs that we're doing. So many times I hear, and I've said it too, hey, nobody's doing anything. Well, you know what? Sometimes I'm not looking.
Right. There are people are doing things to make our community a little bit better and do a lot of things to keep our kids active, to keep the community active. But you do have to look. We do need to come up with something that we could inform the people. And this is one thing. I know there's different podcasts. If all the podcasters get together and figure out something that we can keep announcing, everything is coming along, we would be a safe thing. But once again, I want everybody at the Frederick Douglass Center on June 17th to come. It's a party. It is a safe party. Safe. Notice I said safe.
That's right.
Leave all the negativity at home. We're going to party from 11 till 6, and we're going to have a safe, fun time.
All right, family, this is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. This program has fatherhood classes, which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with really being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do, because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3. BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, I would say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
Shout out to Brothers United, man. Be you.
All right, that was Brothers United. This is the CSRN podcast, or our weekend review, where we come to you live, streaming live from Mott Branch Library. You know what? Let me grab my hat. Where's my hat at? It's as if they got the air conditioner on, extra cool today. It's all good. Hey, listen, we had a great visit by our sister Leslie from the Frederick Douglass Community Center, and she was talking about, let's bring it back on the screen again, that the Doug is having their Juneteenth event. This is going to be held on June 17th. From 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., 1001 Indiana, live music, food trucks, games, and inflatables. And they're going to have music, also the special performance by the Toledo Symphony. It's going to be out there on the 17th. So Juneteenth is a vibe. It's the month of Juneteenth, and Juneteenth doesn't necessarily happen on that day. Part of Juneteenth is the planning. Part of Juneteenth is organizing with others. It looks like my sign is coming down, so I don't know what's up with that right there. But it looks like my sign came down. Man, usually if Jody was here, that would never happen. But anyway, Juneteenth is more than just what's happening on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. It's all of us communicating, getting together to make our community a safe and decent place to live. And we just lifted up the what's happening at the Doug. There's a couple other events that's happening in Toledo. There is the Juneteenth Community Unity Celebration. This is going to be held at 751 Division Street, and this is the Junction Coalition. Let me get my mic right. This is going to be on the 16th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. We want everybody to come out. I think I'm going to be there too. They're going to have the business pop-ups, food trucks, a rib-off competition, face painting, art table, self-care station. I might visit that right there with all I'm doing. So come on out. That's the Junction Coalition Community Unity Celebration. All right, now at this point, we're going to start to wind things down. Don't know what happened with our banner today. Hey, somebody, I can't blame Jody because Jody's going to be virtual. So let's bring Jody in.
What's up? Trying to play me, I'm not even there.
Oh man, well I can't do it today. Hey, look, it is what it is. So I wanted, before we even do anything, I wanted to add something to the chat. Definitely wanted to add something, brother. This was beautiful. Beautiful to see you in your element yesterday. You got your bun, but you know what? Maybe I need to have you talk about this before we get into it. So, for the people that are streaming this for the first time, who are you? And man, what are we talking about today?
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful, continuing, consistent organization that keeps going no matter what's going on in the world. We have a dedication to our movement and our community. So that is what's known as a bunny. If like the Hollywood Walk of Fame and different cities have different things, Toledo has a Tony Packo's bun. It's not something that you can get because you can pay for it or know people. You actually have to earn it. And 8 years ago, I set out on the path of earning my bun through, I guess, being unique and weird and doing stuff that people think is hard or that can fail or that they fear of being so open about what they love. I do, continue to do. It's one of the things here that kind of, makes me feel a little bit more part of the city, a little bit more part of the community, of inspiring people to face their fears, chase their dreams, and make manifestations out of the reality they want to live. And it was beautiful seeing you all there. About 50 people came, news finally came. It was really nice looking up from because I got a bun in 2018. Not, I guess, humbling, because I went in there, told them what I did and stuff back then, and it was like, yeah. And then came the big snap of 2020, and they lost it. So that time, it wasn't no cameras or anything. It was just me speaking to the people and stuff. This time, it was cameras. I actually got to perform yesterday for the crowd that was able, because they are going to stick to Mondays for my book signing, because this isn't a thing that you're going to have to come out to pay for the weekend or something like that. It's a book signing. I'm going to have different artists, vocalists, and musicians there. Each one's going to get bigger until September 15th, which is the 1-year anniversary of that particular book. And then I'm also going to be adding in vendors and stuff like that. So if you are part of one show, you can vend at the other for free. I hate the culture of telling people you're an entrepreneur, now pay me for a spot. So mines are different. I'm going to pay for the spot, make sure I got vendors there, make sure I got artists there. And if you are so inclined to donate, you can, but it's not necessary. You hear me good?
Yeah, you kind of went out just a bit.
Uh-oh, what did you miss?
I missed right after you said that some people believe that as an entrepreneur that they should pay you, but you're actually paying for the spot.
Yeah, I'm paying for the spots, the locations, getting the artists together. We actually, spoilers since it's on here, we actually might have a concert series down here that I may host, you know. But yeah, ever since I've been, I guess, an independent business owner and all that stuff, hobbyist for those that want me to get a see or decide that I should pay for my blood, sweat, and tears of the things I make. So hobbyists for those out there that might get offended by me saying I'm a business owner and everything. I do own a business. It's a sauce company, but that's a whole different story. This is my way of giving back. We're writing books, making the world more literate is my mission. Not writing journals, not writing children's books, not writing science fiction. I'm using my trials, my errors, my failures, my mistakes to encourage people, to show them that you can still get back up that one time you need to and inspire everybody.
Listen, before we, there's a couple other Juneteenth programs that we wanted to up today. When did you realize that you could write a book? How did that happen?
When the first person bought my manuscript while it was printing. I didn't, like, even with poetry and the nominations I get and awards I get, I'm not actually doing a structured form of art. I've done haikus. I've done other stuff, but my form is me speaking my truth. That's where I got my stage name from, Of Spoken Truth, is trying to tell my story that doesn't damage, harm, encourage anyone younger than me or older than me to do something that they'll regret 30 years later. And that's my goal. So I kind of put it in a format that I've seen other people do and made it my way. There's certain misspelled words in some of my books, but they have meaning. A guy just messaged me because he just got deployed and he decided to make it to my book signing. And he was like, hey, you spelled freedom wrong. Like, no, it's freedom, which means I want you to free your mind. I want you to think outside the whatever is perfection in the industry, or that you have to have a manager, or you have to have somebody, because you don't. I'm here. Yeah.
Well, I definitely saw a lot of people. There's so many people that love you. There's so many people that admire you, and there's so many of us that would never think that a Jody Summers type person could actually do what you do, and you really eliminate the impossible for a lot of people, brother. Great job, great job, great job.
And then that is the purpose of art, to inspire people to think differently, to inspire people to move differently. The status quo, the follow the line. I don't want, and I do get some DMs that are quite questionable, but I don't want nobody calling me their boss or their leader or their hero, because I'm just a guy, just a simple man that's makes a lot of failures and mistakes. I just learned to be okay with them because they turn out to be diamonds.
That's right. Hey, listen, yeah, I've got it. It's about a little bit after 7. I want to mention a couple of Juneteenth events, and then kind of put a lid on this. I can't wait to have you back in the studio.
Me too.
Amazing time with Leslie from the Frederick Douglass today. She came by to talk about what's going down at the Doug, and I really want everybody to know what's happening at the Doug. So let me run a couple of things by real quick. 1 second. This is the Juneteenth. Where's the Juneteenth event? Let me put this up here. This is for from Community United. They're having the second annual Juneteenth parade and ceremony. This is going to be June 17th. It's going to be a 9 a.m. lineup at Monroe Street in St. Clair from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's how long the parade is going to be. They're going to have that route near Hinsville, Summit to Jackson, and Jackson Street to One Government Center. If you want to learn more, or if you want to register, you can register at communityunited419@gmail.com. That's communityunited419@gmail.com. Another event that I want to share is our local NAACP. They're having the Juneteenth celebration and job fair. This is going to be on the 17th also. So on the 17th, you're going to be busy, all right, because so many people are doing so many things and different vibes. So I want everybody to really get out and participate in all of the Juneteenth programming. So Juneteenth celebration, job fair at the main library that's downtown. This is going to be the 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And where's it going to be? There's going to be a one-stop resume shop to level up on your career workshop. There's going to be Lisa's Closet, and we had that flyer on last week, and it's going to be in the atrium. So we want everybody to come out and support that. And also, where's the other flyer for the at Wallbridge? All right, this is going to be on the 19th. All right, on the 19th, that Monday, the actual, Juneteenth holiday day that you should be off. All right, I don't know about me, but hey, it is what it is. So on June 19th, it's going to be from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Wallbridge Park, celebrating Jubilee, heritage, and culture. This is the 4th annual Toledo Juneteenth celebration. And family, this is one of the best. All of them are good, but this is one of the best. So we want you to come on out. I think Jody's going to be there too. All right. We're going to have sax fifth music. We're going to have distant cousins, live DJ, kids activities, a family obstacle course. So I might call my wife, hey, they're having an obstacle course. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get myself in trouble. And one of the last things that I wanted to mention is on the 19th, on Monday the 19th, there's going to be the celebration of Black Kings. This is presented by TPS, the National Juneteenth Organization, and the Community Investment Coalition. They listed all of the principles of Kwanzaa and giving people a award representing that principle. And hey, they got my name on here for determination. So that's going to be myself, Brother Ernie Banks, Dr. Carnell Smith, Sammy Spain, and Nathaniel Young, along with all these other brothers that are going to be representing. This is going to be at the Toledo Club Monday, 5 p.m. There's so many of us sharing this flyer, so you can also find out how to get tickets. It's a black tie event and award dinner. So that is what's up. And also, Jody, I don't know if you know this, but this is the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And I always think about this. Where was I when I heard my first rap song? It was 1978, maybe 1977, 1978. There was this R&B group called the Fatback Band. and they had this song called King Tim III. This was before we heard the Sugar Hill Gang, and that was 1977. Wrote my first rap, 1978, and and here we are today. Here we are today. So, hey, listen, Jody, that's my talk for today. Hey, listen, before we close out, do we have any loose ends or anything that we need to share?
Yeah, my mic was muted for a minute, but yeah, so I'm actually starting my Juneteenth on the 15th. I have an event at the Entrepreneurs Club on the east side of Toledo. It's an open mic where I'm featuring Keisha Renee, or K Renee is hosting it. I'm also performing with Kayla Renee and another singer. I can't remember her name, but it's on my page. On the 17th, I am at Joey Brown Park over on the south end, right across from Flock and all that stuff. I'm doing a reggae fest with D Brown. So there'll be vendors, there'll be reggae bands and everything. I'll be performing. I'll have all my goodies and stuff out. After that, later on that night, I'll be performing at Cold. There is a comedy show going on with artists and everything. So I'll be there. Again, check my page. It's all that good stuff, friendly. On maybe the 18th, I have to check my schedule. I might be performing and vending with We Act Radio. They have an event coming up, but I know Juneteenth, I'll actually be at Wallbridge Park. That'll be my third year being there, setting up, performing. And here, a little birdie told me that they're actually making a book about that, which I'll probably be in that piece, I Am Black History. Monday, I'm going to try and make it. You know, I don't do black ties, but we got some chains. I put on black shirt, button up and all that. But I will definitely try and be there to congratulate you as well. And then I think that is my month, because then after that, this is baseball week, so I'm not doing anything extracurricular.
All right.
Except maybe a art gallery or two. I think East River Gallery has one on the 10th. And then let's see, the week after that, I think I'm free until July, possibly, for people that do want to contact me to speak or be somewhere or do things. Yeah. And then I start back up coming in August with a whole bunch more events and maybe another book signing open mic thingy in mid-July, because July 1st is Block Party for anybody that knows about the Village on Adams, zombie crawling stuff. July 1st is Block Party. So I'll be volunteering there and all that good stuff.
All right. Hey, listen, before we get into our 5 minutes of heat, just wanted to remind everyone, if you'd like to support us, you can support us via Cash App, hashtag CSRN 419, PayPal CSRN 419. Follow us on YouTube. We're getting close to 100 subscribers. So we need you to follow us and subscribe on YouTube. Like, comment, and share the podcast. Jody, I think that I've done everything that we could possibly do tonight. What do we have for 5 minutes of heat?
So what we have for 5 minutes of heat, and the video, I want to say is going to go up tomorrow because I am nominated for the third time in a row as Best Storyteller in the entire country, thanks to the National Spoken Word Awards. Shout out Black Ice and family and everybody in Chicago. I'm also nominated for the first time Best Male Spoken Word Artist in the country. Only person that is representing Ohio. So if you guys want to vote, there's stuff on my page now. I'll put the links up with the video. What we're going to be doing is what I did yesterday at the end of the book signing stuff, and what I took to Canada, which made this piece, instead of me saying I get to perform all over the country, and it's now all over the world, is I grew up on PBS.
That's what's up.
So y'all ready?
We're ready.
All righty. So, and I got to see my news stuff, but if you did catch the news, as I told people, stay weird, enjoy weird, embrace your weird, and don't sell out your art for any amount of money, possessions, or fame, or lust, or anything like that, because you won't Love it 30 years later. So let's begin. Peace. I grew up on PBS. As a kid, my family didn't have much growing up, but we did have public broadcasting. I would sit there and watch the screen and imagine, yes, imagine a different life. We didn't have cable or satellite, and our vacations were only as far as public transportation would take us. So I sat there and absorbed all the information I could glean, watching the electric company, Sesame Street, Fraggle Rock, This Old House, Bob Ross, yes, Bob Ross creating happy little trees. The Magic School Bus, the various amounts of cooking shows, and how to DIY. I was always amazed by the Masterclass series and how these amazing creators got to be the person they were. The fundraisers were interesting, but I enjoyed the orchestras more than anything. Bill Nye the Science Guy, Schoolhouse Rocks, and Nova, yes, Nova took the cake. As I got older, my life was nothing like I saw on the screen. I couldn't find Big Bud or the Cookie Monster, and all I seemed to run into was Oscar, yes, Oscar, the Grouches as I got older. No Super Grovers or Elmos appeared, and there weren't too many happy little trees. I felt like I had made a mistake somewhere and somehow took a wrong turn into the feeding cage of Jack Hanna's Animal Show before they were put on the screen. I found myself lost for many years, and then one day, I decided to make a change. I took a right at Mr. Rogers' house instead of the left that put me down this road. I saw the familiar face of Snuffleupagus and continued down Sesame Street, guided by the reading rainbow, and paused at the completed old house. I finally found those happy little trees and grabbed a meal from Julia Child. The electric company finished up the street lights just as Miss Frizzle was coming to pick me up for the rest of the way. The Kratz brothers waved and showed me that the animals weren't so scary. And the count, gave me the numbers I needed to subtract from where I went wrong. Now I write books, appear in films, create my own artwork, my own brands, and I am building a better future for those that see me now. I get to perform all over the world with the sound of my voice and the imagination PBS instilled in me. As a kid, my family didn't have much growing up, but we did have public broadcasting. And because of those hours spent in front of the screen, I am here to tell you my dreams in peace.
All right, and as always, we snap our fingers. We don't clap our hands. Jody, I want to thank you so much for being you. I want to thank you for making CSRN what it is, unbossed, and weird. All right, we like it like that. And as always, Jody, all lives can't matter until
Black lives matter.
And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice or else.
Yeah.
Peace.